In this video, I'm gonna break down the 6 things that I wish I knew before turning 40 years old. I'm Dr. Dan Sullivan, CEO of the Catalyst Group and a business development consultant. There are a lot of things that I've learned over the years, as have you, but I wanna shine light on the 6 things that I believe are the most powerful things that I wish I would have known before 40, really even before 30 years old, but I hope these can help you. Number 1, rejection and failure are part of the gig. Truth be told, if I would have known how much rejection it was gonna require to be a successful entrepreneur, I probably wouldn't have gotten started. So I'm glad I didn't know, but now that I do know, and I want to help you recognize that rejection and failure are just part of the gig. People will disappoint you. People will not keep their word. People will tell you no often, but do it anyway. There's so much I've learned from mentors and leaders that they keep going anyway. The successful people, despite the rejections, the setbacks, you learn the most, by the way, from your mistakes, from the pains, from the L's. You keep going anyway. So remember, rejection is a sign of progress. Just flip it in your mind. Number 2, be good at what you do. If you see so many people that come and go or start one thing and then go pivot to another thing, typically it's because they're not good with what they do. There was a book that I read recently called Deep Work by Cal Newport, and he talked about in a day and age when it's all about likes and followers and comments, if you can just be prideful in doing deep work and being good, you will separate yourself. Be good. Number 3, be consistent. One of the things that's been astonishing to me is that the bar for success is not as high as you think. You just have to keep going. Be consistent. Stay in the game. Those that aren't consistent or fall because they get rejected or because there's failure, they become irrelevant quickly. But if you just stay consistent, I promise you, you will reach a level of success. It's that old thing where the gold was a couple layers deeper if you would have just kept digging. For instance, right now, with this YouTube channel, I don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, but I do know that if I stay consistent and I am good and continue to get feedback and be better, I know it will work out, but so many will fall off. That becomes your unique advantage. Just be consistent. Same thing with your lifestyle, your fitness, your nutrition, your finances, your parenting. Be consistent. Number 4, stop caring about what people think. I am so guilty of this. Growing up, middle child, looking for attention, looking for significance, I have always been very sensitive to what people think. People will try to sway you. People won't understand, even the people that are closest to you. It's okay. Know who you are. Carl Jung, a famous psychologist, said, "The world will ask you who you are. And if you don't know, it will tell you." And so that's been a lesson to me. And I need to remember, and I'm telling you this just as I'm telling me this, people are so caught up in their own stuff, they aren't really worrying about you. And those who claim to be worrying about you or telling you what to do, that's typically a projection of the insecurity they have in their own life. So when you think about this, just be you, but it requires you to be the real version of you. And so stop caring about what others think. I am speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to you. Number 5, relationship capital is real. Who you know can quite honestly be more important than what you know. When I created a speaking business, one of the things that got me on more stages than anything else was who I knew. Take the time to build relationships. Take the time to go to events and meet people. You may be one relationship away from doors opening that could never be opened. Relationships are critical. And number 6, what you really believe about yourself and what you're capable of and what you're called to do is more important than thinking positive. I have watched the most unlikely people succeed, and I've asked myself the question, how do they do it? Because when I meet them, they're nothing special. In fact, a lot of times they'll be asking me questions about things that I thought they should know because they were such an influencer, because they had a level of success. But the reality is they knew who they were, and they knew what they were good at, and they knew what their impact on the world was gonna be. And they believed it at the core of their core. And now I've studied this and I realize it's in the subconscious. It's literally a self-image that leads to a self-confidence, that leads to thoughts, that leads to emotions, that leads to actions that lead to a result. And so if you're not getting the results that you currently want in your life, I'm telling you right now, it is based on the self-image or your self-confidence in yourself. And when I have evaluated leaders and successful entrepreneurs, I have realized one thing, and it's been very clear. They are confident. And it's not that they always win everything they do, but they are so confident in what they're called to do that if they lose or it doesn't turn out the way they thought it should, they just pivot and continue. And so it's their self-confidence. They've overcome any doubt, and their thoughts and emotions and actions drive their results. And what's cool about this is you can change it. Typically it came from mothers, fathers, teachers, and preachers before you were 7 years old. So what I have found is that when you dig in and you replace the negative limiting beliefs with who you really are, everything changes. The most successful people that I have witnessed and been around isn't that they are the best, is that they believe they are the best. And by that belief, they actually become the best. And let me throw one more bonus in there. Don't be so frugal. I have been guilty of being frugal. Here's what I'll say. Spend it, buy it, live in it, drive it, experience it, eat it, drink it. The blessings of this life you deserve to have. And when you taste a little bit of them, when you feel them, when you experience them, you want more of them. Not because of your ego or pride, because it makes you feel a certain way. Don't be so frugal. And also, what you'll think of yourself or maybe who you'll meet can change pretty quickly when you aren't so frugal. Those were my 6. I could have made a list of 20, and probably in 5 years from now, I'll make another list. So stay tuned. Hey, one other thing, pass this on to a friend if you thought this was valuable, and I would love for you to subscribe and prove my theory correct that in years from now, if I stay consistent, this channel will continue to grow. My job is to continue doing deep work and staying consistent, and I promise that to you. So that's it for me, Dr. Dan, I'm out.